foods trips.
Oh, okay.
And then the one other trip that I went on was a French trip.
Yeah.
And so, but with foods as a whole, like I found like our curriculum was very well rounded, and where people use it as kind of like a joke kind of class, right? It's slacking off.
Yeah.
So you're just making food, and they don't think that like a serious class.
Yeah.
But you still have to show up with a recipe, and you have to make the thing. You have to go through the proper safety. You have to do WMIS. You have to do whatever.
Yeah.
Those who are like thinking foods as like careers, like I was at the time too, you have options to work with the teacher outside of school for skills and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so there was a time where I was training for skills, and then I stopped that when I decided, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want to pursue foods outside of high school. And so that's when I stopped that. But for those who did want it, you have a recommendation from a chef who is now a teacher.
Yeah.
So that getting into foods programs outside of school is easier.
Okay.
If you want kitchen experience prior to university, because you know this is the life for you, you can do extra credits and work in the cafeteria at lunches and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And everything from the cafeteria was made by our kitchen at the school, which was a professional kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we had a pastry chef.
Yeah.
As a baker and for the thing, we had another chef as like and those were like teachers' assistants, I guess, for this thing, and then we had the head teacher who was a chef and then got his teaching license or degree.
Oh, interesting.
Stuff. And so we have 3 very knowledgeable people, and we were very lucky with our food system for it being so good.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And so that was like a lot of my courses in high school. Like each class had someone who was a professional that then got a teaching certificate outside of that. Right. Even my psych teacher, she's a psychologist who also went back to school to teaching, so she could be a high school psychology teacher.
Interesting.
On top of her own practice outside of it.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Same thing with cosmetology, same thing with woodworking, mechanics, sports medicine, all of it.
Yeah.
So we had someone who was a professional that decided to go into teaching in their later years or whatever.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like my high school experience would have been very different had that been the case.
Yeah.
But that was not the case at either of the schools that I went to.
Yeah. And so, but like with foods, like that's just the example because you brought up foods, right? It wasn't just like some dude who cooks for his family and enjoys it, right?
Yeah.
It's like he has professional education and he's telling you, these are the steps you need to take. Here's this open house you can go to. Here's this person you can talk to about blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to do.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a lot of resources for you to explore on your own outside of class even.
Right.
That was provided by the teachers because they were professionals in the field at some point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the case. And that's the difference of like high school in bigger cities versus smaller towns, right? Like there's so much, we didn't have a lot of the extracurricular activities because our high school was so small.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't feasible. And I guess if you really wanted it, you could search it out somewhere else.
Yeah.
But a lot of the kids who went there, they're just going to be farmers or heavy duty mechanics or tradespeople or whatever. So they didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
Because most of what they wanted to do, they were already doing at home.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know, even my friend, like she did cosmetology.
Yeah.
And she ended up being like a hairdresser for a little bit too. And stuff. But she has like, and she did hands-on training experience in school.
Yeah. I definitely think that trades need to be brought into schools a little bit more than they are.
I guess it depends on where you are. Like I'd say our school had a pretty good variety for trades too.
Yeah. Like I think
we had mechanics, woodworking, welding. We even had a weights class. So if you like went to get like, you could just lift weights. We had an art thing. We had sports medicine. We had comtech. But our school is also a fine arts school.
Oh, okay.
So we had like, I said professional drama programs, professional music programs, cosmetology. I said the basics for trades. Like, of course, there are things like roofing and stuff you can't teach a kid.
Yeah, but like in woodworking, like you kind of.
Yeah, like our woodworking was like you're doing like bigger projects and stuff. Right, like the way you described it before we started recording.
Yeah.
What that level is that you were talking about, that's what we were doing in 7th grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I don't know what they were doing in 7th. They could have been doing that in 7th grade, but like there just wasn't. Yeah, it just needed a lot more like opportunities, but I guess they would almost be wasted because a lot of the kids wouldn't take it because they just wanted to go do something else.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the kid, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of friends that I have in high school who got into the trades continued with their high school class that they did.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I have one buddy who's a welder. He started with welding in high school and did all the trades classes and stuff and then went into the trades.
Yeah.
And it was a very straight path, right? Even I know some people from the foods program who knew they wanted to be in the foods industry and they continued with it. They either went to a college for like hospitality or cooking or baking or whatever, but they learned those fundamentals in foods.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
that's one thing where like I can't. Or even another friend of mine, she took like criminology or something, and then she ended up being a paralegal for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And so all of these were like interests that were fostered in high school. The only reason why I did psychology is because of high school.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
I was not in my mindset at all until I was like, no, this is actually really interesting. Like I really like the brain.
Yeah.
And that's why I went to university for psychology.
Right.
If it wasn't for my high school psych teacher, there's no way.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a forensics class in our high school, but I didn't trust that the teacher was going to teach me anything of value, so I didn't take it, and I took drama instead.
Yeah.
Which shocked the pants off of him, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to school for forensics. And he was like, you've never been in my forensics class. And I was like, I'd rather take drama. And I don't like you.
Yeah, that's different.
But, yeah.
Sorry. Another tangent that.
Yeah. So then my sister also sent us a 2-page single-spaced letter. I'm not gonna read it because we're at an hour 10, but yeah, she because I asked her like what was her schooling experience, and then how did COVID affect it, if there's any funny stereotypes, if it helped in college, and would she homeschool her kids. And so she said she liked homeschooling because she was able to start working early on and start training horses early and to hang out with all of her animals. But it did teach her that she can procrastinate on just about everything. But she appreciated that she could move around and there wasn't like a set class time, and like same with my brother. And she said she really enjoyed being homeschooled for her younger years. It gave her a chance to grow up without being bullied for being weird or different, which is something that all three of us would have had. She said she was able to find herself a little bit more before she judged other people, and she was able to find some really good friends at school. And there's a whole bunch. So stereotypes. Everyone thinks she's religious. Most homeschool people are weird. All homeschool people are socially awkward. She has a lot of siblings. She doesn't have a lot of friends. That she doesn't have a phone or social media. That she should be married or in a very committed relationship, or if she has an arranged marriage. Some said that they thought she was homeschooled or religious because of her name.
These are things that like people have told her.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That she should be wearing a dress or a skirt. Some people think that it's weird that she doesn't want kids and that it must make her parents mad, or they must have disowned her for it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
Great.
I would just go with the weird just because of my own experience with some homeschool kids that
homeschool kids are weird.
Like even our next door neighbors were homeschooled kids, and they
just
were nice enough kids, but when we play, they would be weird. They would like freak out over small things because they don't know how to interact with people.
They don't, and like interacting with your family is very different than interacting with other people. And so
other kids even, right?
So I had a lot of friends, so that I was able to, like, I knew how to interact with other people. And so then I would bring them over and my brother and sister would interact with other people. So it was like, in that way, we were very blessed. There's some weird kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said she would homeschool her kids because it creates very good life habits. But she would make sure that they had public school friends and they would be a part of a sports team or a public group of some kind, which I think is now becoming more of an option. Yeah. Or like it's just easier to do. Yeah. And she would only teach them up until a certain age just because of her own learning disabilities. And she's like, I can't teach you past a certain place. Like
that's why I even say like I'm comfortable up to like kind of 5th grade education, maybe 6th or whatever, depending on where we are at. But I'd much rather if I can teach the foundations myself, or with the help of my mom, if that's her retirement is teaching my kids for me, beautiful, amazing, that'd be great. But who knows, when the time comes, we'll see. And then either ensure that the public school is like good, or if they have any sort of direction that they know they want to go, put them in some sort of specialty schools.
Yeah.
That are out there, right? I had a friend who left our public high school to go to a hockey school.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up doing her university on a hockey scholarship. She's now like coaching a team or whatnot. And like, that's just what she does.
Yeah.
So if there was anything like that, like if my kids were like super into it, then yeah, I would kind of foster their interests.
Yeah.
And put them in something like, again, if it is trades, I would look for a high school that's like a specifically like kind of trades focused school.
Right.
Right. So that they are getting that specialty education and not like with yours where it's like, oh yeah, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so doing my best to kind of allow those opportunities, I think is what would be the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, life circumstances, finances, every other thing.
Yeah, exactly. Even just like where you live, right? Yeah. Like the closest big high school was an hour away. And I already had an hour bus ride to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it depends on, there are more factors than just once, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if that's the option, then of course, yeah, I'll do it. I'll foster it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's such an age-old argument of like what is better, and like it's different strokes for different folks, right? Like each person, like public school might be the perfect place for a certain person. But like,
yeah. Well, and even my cousin, she went to like a tech school or whatever, right? Which did nothing normally. But it's because all these kids that went to this school, they're not going to be an employee. They're going to be a creator of some sort.
Right.
Right. And so they don't need to learn how to sit in their desk and learn Excel and do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They need to know how to talk and how to think and how to put pieces together that most people just wouldn't think of because that's not what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and that worked for her. That's the only way she got through school, really, honestly. Like
but it's tough. Like, had she grown up in a small town,
who knows?
There wouldn't have been that opportunity.
Definitely not.
So it's things like that where, like, I would have loved to have had more things at our school that like applied to me. Yeah. But that just wasn't feasible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But oh well, let us know your guys' thoughts on homeschool versus public school. Thank you so much to everyone who like wrote in and told us your opinion. It was super awesome to hear everyone's thoughts around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know, it is very interesting, and I don't know that we'll ever come to an agreement on like what's best or whatever.
Well, because I don't think there is a conclusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I think public school right now, especially, is bogged down, and I think there needs to be a shift.
There needs to be a massive overhaul of what's going on right now.
But how does that shift? I honestly, my opinion, I think the shift is more specialty schools. Right?
Yeah.
Or the option to go to more specialty schools.
Yeah.
Making that more of a norm.
Yeah.
So that if a kid is like excels in arts and is sucky at math, well, maybe they want to do arts for the rest of their life, and so they can have that option to excel in what they want or what they're good at.
And that's something else. Like, there doesn't need to be diplomas need to leave. Diploma exams are stupid. They tell you nothing. The past 3 years of COVID kids not getting to do them, totally fine. They definitely don't need to be worth 30 to 50% of your grade. That is stupid.
Okay, yeah, they reduced it. When I finished high school, it was still like 50.
I think it was 50 or 30 when I graduated.
Oh, we were the first year. Actually, I lied. It's not 50. We were the first year where it reduced to 30, but we still got the benefit of 50. But that's also just Alberta.
Did we?
I did.
Well, Alberta's one of the only provinces that have it, because I was talking to a whole bunch of my friends from the East Coast, and they're like, we have no idea what that is.
But Alberta has the best education in Canada.
That's
the highest level of education in Canada.
Yikes, I didn't know that. That's upsetting.
Yeah. Our standards for education are much higher.
But I don't think it's because of the diploma exams.
No, but the diploma exams are a part of that.
Yeah.
It's because if you look at the curriculums in other provinces, right now I think it's crashing and burning a bit. But it was the model of standard, like, for education for even into the States. There were some states that modeled their education system off of Alberta because it was so good.
Interesting.
But that's crumbling a little bit.
Yeah, very much
now. So
yeah, like Reed didn't even write one of his diplomas because they made it 10%, and he was at a good enough mark where he got a 0 and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
So he's like,
that's fair.
What's the point?
That's fair.
Like, there's no. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I agree with you on that point, but for the reason of why it is the way it is, that's why.
Yeah, just seems silly, but yeah. So let us know what you guys think. If you have any
thoughts,
epiphanies, yeah, groundbreaking ideas,
yeah,
or whatever,
what you think to do. At the end of the day, I mean, like, I kind of swung, I don't know, for our debate, I kind of swung more like public education because that's what I know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, I can see benefits in both as long as both are done correctly.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can homeschool your kids and you can be a shit teacher and you can fuck up your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, you can send your kid to high school or high school. Well, yeah, your kid's gonna get fucked up in high school, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but public school, and that the public school can fuck them up.
Yeah.
You don't know until
it's too late, pretty much.
You gotta do your best to, I don't know, work with what you got.
Yeah, exactly.
With that,
pop over to patreon.com/sometimesciabatta to follow us on Patreon. It's $2 a month and you get all of our episodes ad free.
Mm-hmm.
You can join in on the debate like this, hear about topics a little bit earlier, all of that fun stuff. So go over there and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you get our episodes ad free. I don't know if I said that already. I don't think I did.
I can't remember. And then for socials, I'm Mak Joy.
I'm Mak Jubes.
We are Sometimes Ciabatta Slaps on all social media platforms. You can find our website, sometimesciabattaslaps.com. On our website, there's links to all of our episodes, audio and video, as well as our merch links, our affiliate links, book club, anything you gotta know about us, it's probably on the website. So,
yep.
And then with that, we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Bye.